Good afternoon, my dear students. We are here for the newspaper analysis of November 22 and 23. Let me presume that all of you have done the general awareness daily quiz that I gave for these days, and I take it for granted that all of you have read the newspapers of these days. Good afternoon, everyone. So, let us start straight away. November 22 dated newspaper is what we are going to do first. This is the front page of the newspaper. Parliamentary panel bats for laws to counter bioterrorism. Tamil Nadu governor can decide on Perarivalan's release, CBI tells the court. And Punjab farmers to lift rail blockade. We know that farmers, especially from Punjab and Haryana, are strongly protesting against the recent laws passed by the parliament on farmers' plight. Parliamentary panel bats for laws to counter bioterrorism. This parliamentary panel is headed by Ram Gopal Yadav. It has submitted a report to the Rajya Sabha chairman, which will subsequently go to the government. So, in India there is a parliamentary democracy, and in parliamentary democracy parliamentary panels have got a big role to do. There are plenty of parliamentary committees, there are joint parliamentary committees. These parliamentary committees on different subjects, different ministries will learn on subjects and will submit the report to the government. The government will take actions on that. These are recommendatory in nature. So, what are the major recommendations? Listen, some of the statistics that are very important are: the government hospital beds in India beds are enough for 0.55 for every 1,000 people, meaning for 1,000 people the number of beds is 0.55, meaning for every 2,000 people there is almost one bed for in the government hospital. That is one important statistics that we have to know. Growth rate of cases at the beginning of the lockdown was 36%, now it has come down to 3.3%, which is really good. Oxygen requirement and the production capacity of the country. Listen, these are all eye openers. This corona is an eye opener, and corona tested the efficacy of medical systems in various countries. America was well and truly exposed for the lack of medical facilities for their citizens to handle a situation of the pandemic's kind. Anyway, please read, and this is very important. Some of the information, of course, I asked them for in your daily quizzes, and I shall come in detail in my weekly notes also, but please read. When you read and when you are ready, then my notes will be a nice recipe to you. Ayurveda PGs will perform surgery soon. Ayurveda students and Ayurveda community have always been requesting the government for permitting them to do surgeries, but this was very strongly prevented by the powerful allopathy group. But finally the government has decided that Indian system of medicine can now do surgery, of course not completely, but certain specific areas. So that is a landmark decision taken by the government. Indian system of medicine, systems of medicine have been very effective in many areas. For certain diseases there is no cure for in allopathy. So now the Ayurveda PG students, the PGs can, not PG students, PG can perform surgeries. That is a very important decision. This can even find a place in your question paper too. Congratulations Shruti, she joined Canara Bank as a probation officer yesterday, and she is an ICDN. Congratulations to her, and best wishes to my dear student Shruti. Honor for Bhutan's Queen Mother, very important question for your examination, very important question. This will come. UNFP award, United Nations Population Award for Bhutan's Queen Mother, 𝐌𝐨𝐫𝐞 Sangai Chodhan Wangchuk. She is the fourth wife of King Wangchuk, and she won the award for helping victims of gender violence through organization called Renew. Her organization's name is Renew. So she won the UNFP award in the individual category for 2020 for her work on sexual health and ending gender violence. A very important international award. This time both the major awards came to South Asia. The individual award went to Queen Mother of Bhutan, and the organizational award came to India for HelpAge India. Very important. This is a sure shot, it will come. We know that HelpAge India is a registered charity organization that help older people in India. There were two other Indians which won the award, UNFP award. One was former Indian Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi, and the other was the industrialist philanthropist Mr. J.R.D. Tata in 1992. So very, very, very important award. Read this article, try to know about their contribution, and of course it is important from the point of view of exams too. India to double oil refining capacity in 5 years. Pandit Deen Dayal Oil University, Petroleum University. In this university, Prime Minister was making a speech, and he said that India will increase its refining capacity by or double its refining capacity from the present 250 million tons to 450 to 500 million tons. Of course, the Energy Minister of India a few days ago had said that India would double its refining capacity in 10 years, but now the Prime Minister says that we have to move aggressively and we have to double the refining capacity in 5 years. In the next 5 years, India is to double its refining capacity to 450 to 500 million tons. We know that India is going to sell, the country is going to sell its the entire stake of the country in its oil major refinery BPCL to outside buyers. So we are aggressively going for privatization of the oil sector. Okay, natural gas currently accounts for only 6% of the energy consumed in the country. Another important statistic, natural gas accounts for only 6% of the energy consumed in the country. Natural gas is a much cleaner fuel, and this is also very important. Ahead of schedule, India would achieve its target of increasing renewable energy capacity to 175 gigawatts by 2022 and 450 gigawatts by 2030. Very important statistics. These are all things that are going to come for your examination. In fact, I remember I asked you in our daily tests. So please do the daily test on a daily basis itself. Don't postpone it, so that that will also contribute. Those daily tests are available in the daily gyan of our application. Capgemini to hire rural women graduates, again an important question. Sakhi Drishtikon, French technology major Capgemini has introduced Sakhi Drishtikon, an initiative to train and hire rural women graduates, postgraduates or diploma holders in technical subjects from economically weaker families to bring them into the mainstream workforce. Very, very, very important question. This may come. A French company has tried to is trying to empower Indian rural women. So under this initiative, Capgemini would have 500 rural women from rural India joining its workforce by December and December end. While during the calendar 2021, the firm expected 15% of its fresh hiring from rural talent. Sakhi Drishtikon, that's a name. So very important question. All rural initiatives either by the government or by the private will be very important for our examinations. Now I turn to November 23 newspaper. This is the front page. Tunnel used to by Jaish militants found in J&K. Please read. It is about it's happening in the western borders of India. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Prema Ghandhu pushes for the highway along Tibet border. We know that China has made a claim over Tibet and over Arunachal Pradesh, and the Indian army and the Chinese army were face to face in Ladakh recently. China has made claim over 2 more places in India. Originally it was 3. China did not accept India's sovereignty over Sikkim, a few provinces of Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh. But a few years ago, finally China accepted India's sovereignty over Sikkim, but still they say that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of southern Tibet. So Prema Ghandhu, the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, is pushing for a highway through the eastern border of India so that army can move faster in the eventuality of a war. So he says that the international finances that the state must have got are prevented by Chinese intervention. Please read all these things. Cheaper, regretted state's inability to get cheaper foreign funding because of Beijing's interference. That is what Chief Minister Prema Ghandhu says. Read this. This is the editorial Peaceful Possibilities. Hindu is speaking about the elections that are being conducted in Jammu Kashmir. In Jammu Kashmir, local elections are announced. Jammu Kashmir is a state now, no longer is it a union territory. So for the first time, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act or the Panchayati Raj Act is taking place in Jammu Kashmir. It is through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act that the local elections are conducted in panchayats, and of course through the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, the Nagarpalika Act. So these are all 2 important acts. We know that in Kerala, Panchayat elections are taking place. That is the case in Jammu Kashmir too. The Hindu says that a violence free election is necessary but not sufficient for a vibrant democracy. Very clear statement. A vibrant election is necessary, but that is not the end. It is only a means to the end of having peaceful life. But unfortunately, there are plenty of issues in in Jammu Kashmir. People are not given the freedom, it is criticized, internet is prevented. So news that emanates from J&K is censored ones, these are the criticisms. Most of the political leaders are behind the bars. So is it a true democratic test that the editorial briefly says? So please read and make ideas. Elections are taking place in J&K. Pressure and punishment. This is about the conviction of Hafiz Saeed, a UN designated terrorist whom India and US blame for the 2008 Mumbai blast. So Mumbai terror attacks. So Hafiz Saeed has been booked for being a culprit in the serial terror attack in Mumbai, which killed many people, and finally United States has put a ransom on his amount on his head, and United Nations finally branded him as an international criminal. Pakistan has been a place for as a safe haven for the terrorists, but the local court has punished him for 10 years. Pakistan has been facing a major issue. In 2021 February, the FATF will Financial Action Task Force, FATF, will review Pakistan's position as a grey, in its grey list. Pakistan is included in the grey list of FATF. So Pakistan wants to come out of FATF's grey list, then only it will get proper international finance. So as a desperate measure, that Pakistan is taking these measures and keeping Hafiz Saeed in jail. He is already in jail for some years. It is for two connected cases that he has been punished, but he has to serve the jail term concurrently, so it won't go beyond 10 years. Please read. Anyway, that name is also important. It can sometimes, generally all these terrorism kind of things are avoided from question papers, but it can come. In a vaccine race last lap, the key steps for India. Listen, the newspaper says that historically it is very difficult to develop a vaccine for coronavirus because of the continuous mutation that takes place. Anyway, the article must be read. Corona vaccine administration is going to be a challenge to the country. It is going to occupy a lot of space in the newspapers to come. Please read. I myself, through different episodes of our program, introduced a lot of beautiful articles on coronavirus. Please read this article. Dr. Ananth Krishnan, who wrote this article, is a professor at the Center of Community Medicine, AIIMS, New Delhi. Big people speak about things that they know well. So please read a beautifully written, a simply written article portraying the basic fundamental challenges of vaccine administration. No minister, the trade agreement pitch is flawed. Listen, a few days back, our foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, said that under the name of free trade, many countries are trying to export subsidized good to markets, and Indian markets cannot be opened up for such subsidized dumping. Listen, Pooja Mehra, who wrote The Lost Decade, India's growth story devolved into growth without a story, she wrote that book. She was saying that the minister was terribly wrong in saying that, and she says that Indian rupee has been hardening since 2014, and it is not the foreign countries that are subsidizing their products to be exported to India, rather a harder Indian rupee is subsidizing foreign products. Anyway, these are all opinions, please read and try to understand. The fact is that India did not sign RCEP, India opted out of RCEP, and India stuck to its decision that it took in 2019 to keep away from RCEP. All other countries, 15 countries, ASEAN plus 5 more, which are those 5 more? China, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and Australia, New Zealand, China, I do not remember the 5th country anyway. So, those 15 countries, ASEAN plus 5, 15 countries, somebody can contribute, I cannot tax my memory, somebody can contribute the 5th name. In fact, I asked in the question papers of mine. So, which is that 5th countries other than the ASEAN who joined RCEP? Hello, Japan, correct, very good. So, Japan, these are the 5 countries apart from the 10 ASEAN nations that signed the RCEP. So, thank you for the contribution. I forgot my name, the name of the country. So, please read this article. Prime Minister for integrated fights against climate change. He was addressing the G20 summit. G20 summit is being held in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. This summit is conducted virtually. The President Donald Trump is also expected to speak. Prime Minister Modi was saying that India has the nations, G20 covers around 85% of global GDP and 75% of international trade. So, G20 has got a major role to play in making the climate more livable, and this has got greater merit in the times of corona, because climate has got a major role to play outbreaks of viruses. Please read. And the Prime Minister said that country has made LED lights popular, saves 38 million tons of carbon dioxide emission per year. And he was repeating here also, we will meet our goal of 175 gigawatts of renewable energy well before the target of 2022 and 450 gigawatt by 2030. Very important statistics, all are going to come for your examination, very important. 132 countries attend global meet on criminal finances. This meeting was convened by Interpol, the International Police, Europol, European Police, Basel Institute on Governance from November 18 to 19. Basel is a place in Switzerland where the central bankers of different countries summit. It is the place, Basel. You might have heard about Basel norms. I shall take in between a class on Basel committee recommendations and Basel committee norms. So, the 4th global conference on criminal finances and cryptocurrencies, organized by Interpol, Europol and Basel Institute on Governance from November 18 to 19, very, very important. It shall come, it may come. So, who are convening this meeting? Interpol, Europol and Basel Institute on Governance, very important. RBI Twitter handles hits 1 million followers. So, Reserve Bank of India, among the central banks of the country, has got the maximum followers on Twitter. Of course, these things matter. Reserve Bank of India has come to the news for a different reason. Please remember this, it may even come for your exam. India, Thailand, Singapore naval exercise concludes. It is SITMEX 20 concluded in the Andaman Sea. See, the armies, navies and armed forces as such are continuously engaging themselves in exercises even during peace times. So, in the Andaman Sea, the three countries Thailand, India and Singapore conducted a trilateral naval exercise, and it is christened SITMEX. It is SITMEX 20. It is the 27th edition of India Singapore bilateral maritime exercise, SIMBEX 20. I think it is in one place it is written SITMEX SIMBEX. Okay. Anyway, please go through that news a bit more closely and write down. The trilateral meet is called SITMEX and the bilateral maritime exercise is called SIMBEX 20. Okay, both may be conducted simultaneously. It is an exercise during peaceful times. India is set to launch deep sea mission, again very important. Look, India will soon launch an ambitious deep ocean mission that envisages exploration of minerals, energy and maritime diversity of the underwater world, and the cost of the program is 4,000 crore. The mission, which is expected to cost over 4,000 crore, that figure is also very important. Japanese grant to strengthen Maldives Coast Guard. Maldives is a strategically is located in a strategic position, so it is an important sea route also. So it is strategically positioned. So India gave $500 million to Maldives for its development. Now Maldives and Japan on Sunday signed an agreement for a Japanese grant of 7.6 million to be extended to Maldives Coast Guard training and a maritime rescue and coordination center. So please read, that is also important. Another member of the Quad we know, India, United States of America, Japan, and which is the fourth country? Tell me please, which is the fourth country of Quad? United States, India, Japan, and hello, give me some responses. Which is the fourth member of the Quad? I have forgotten. Help me, please. Hello, I require answer from you. China said that Quad is a new initiative to a new NATO kind of thing. China criticized. Australia, correct, very good. Okay, very good. So good to know that my students are responding. Excellent, good. It is not Qatar, it is Australia. Good, okay. So India, United States of America, Japan and Australia make Quad. So the Quad is criticized by China, and they said that it is the new NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization equivalent. Thank you very much for watching the program. I am sure that you all watched it with a kind of eagerness. This is how we slowly improve. We have done the newspaper in half an hour's time here, but you have to read it for 2 hours a minimum. Read. Reading will definitely improve you like anything. It will transform you rather. It is not just for getting through a few examinations that I ask you to read the newspapers. Of course, for newspaper reading is an essential part of your preparation, that is very clear, but that apart, you have to read the newspapers for your self improvement. That is very important, very necessary. At 3 o'clock again Shamim sir will come with another session on quantitative aptitude. Today morning at 8 o'clock we had a session on quantitative aptitude. Again it was from myself. So tomorrow also there will be 3 sessions, live sessions, one at 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock newspaper analysis, and at 3 o'clock another session. The first 2 sessions, first and third session, 8 o'clock session and 3 o'clock sessions are for our students, and the newspaper analysis is for all. I request all of you to once again join the social media sites of ours, share and encourage us. Thank you very much. Have a very good day.